Let us rejoice, because Princess Cut 2, Hearts on Fire, was 2021's long-awaited sequel to the Christian romance film Princess Cut, which came out 6 years earlier, and we previously recapped on this channel. As a reminder, that film followed infantilized Christian college student Grace, who was so desperate to get married that she actually went and saw a therapist, but eventually returned to the wisdom of her soybean farming father, who took time away from openly obsessing over his adult daughter's sexual abstinence to assure her that navigating love as a Christian can be confusingly and questionably compared to the growth of a soybean. I don't really see the connection either, but apparently the analogy makes perfect sense to any group of people who are willing to suspend all logic and are willing to believe something that's true just because someone says that it is, even though they've never seen it with their own eyes. And it was all part of God's plan, because now we get to join the soy crazy Anderson family in North Carolina just 6 years after Grace accepted God's timing and finally found a supposedly handsome doctor husband under the guidance of her dear old dad. And all thanks to Christ's eternal compassion and love, the Anderson family is doing terrible. For example, that dear old dad has since died of soy farming related stress. The farm itself is failing due to declining popularity in soy milk, I guess, I don't know. Then a brand new family member and his wife have suddenly materialized as though they've been there the whole time, which makes me think that Princess Cut 2 takes place in an alternate dimension where God hates them, because boy does he do a number on these idiots. Pregnancy complications, unfaithful spouses, and a deadly disaster that isn't even a fire, even though the name of the sequel is Hearts on Fire. Why is that the title when Princess Cut 2, Tornado Kills My Sister, was sitting right there in front of them? And I think has an even better ring to it. Tornado killed my sister. Amen. Side note, how have I never noticed how tall Dr. Clint's hair is in this movie poster? Sir, it looks like the belly of a pregnant seahorse is on your head. But alas, God works in mysterious ways, as evidenced by this movie's multiple plot holes and abandoned storylines, a severe lack of on-screen action and overuse of exposition, plus a jarring tone switch from feel-good family romance, which was beloved by church people, to a dark and depressing tale of showing the Lord unceasing loyalty and gratitude, while simultaneously accepting the horrible future that he has planned for you and your loved ones. Put your hands together and thank God for your pointless march toward the grave. It's time to grab your Bible and hide in the storm cellar, because you got a big storm coming. It's called God's love, and it's threatening to shred up your daughter-in-law and throw her dead corpse into the creek. Get ready for your earthly body to be buried in rubble in today's biblical retribution riddled installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into your favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web, and we break them into tiny pieces, like the tornado that's gonna rip your sister in half, so that we can look at each individual severed limb and organ and determine if they are blessed by God and worthy of heaven, or a cluster of cells that we don't have to worry about. And sister, do we have a sad tale for you today. The first movie, Princess Cut 2, or no, the first movie, Princess Cut 1, I can't do the math. Princess Cut 1 was like basically about Grace wanting to find her husband. She was like deeply obsessed with getting married, to the point where her own little brother, who was 12 or so, was like, I'm gonna put a newspaper ad out saying like, my sister sucks, she loves mac and cheese, she can cook, come take her from me. And all these dudes showed up, and the dad was like, oh son, make sure you put in there that she's a good Christian woman. And it's like, but also don't sell your sister to the public. Anyway, she does meet all of these guys, and like eventually she met this guy Clint, who is like a doctor, and they fall in love forever. It's great. The point is, I think that movie was supposed to be funny and lighthearted in some way. I found it a little disturbing. However, the masses loved it, making this one of the most popular Christian films of the year it came out, which was 2015, 2016. Don't make me look it up. I've been having technical issues all day trying to shoot this. Just believe me. The point is, this new sequel came out obviously 6 years later, and chronologically in the movie universe, which there's a whole Princess Cut trilogy, so there's a number 3 coming your way too. It's also 6 years later. Grace has grown up and become the wife of a doctor, which is enough of an identifier for her to be settled. And now we're meeting Lauren. She's the wife of the oldest brother in the Anderson family. And no, there wasn't an older brother mentioned in the first movie. We just recast that character to kind of carry this film. Lauren is the main character of this, although Grace is there there as her like angelic kind of sanctified friend. You'll meet them all, but first make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more Christian movies broken down here on this channel. But most importantly, if you're new here, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I've also got merch and a Patreon where you can access exclusive bonus episodes, virtual watch parties. We're gonna do an exclusive podcast starting next month. It's gonna be fun. It already is fun, but unfortunately, due to a glitch, Patreon unsubscribed all of my paid subscribers, and you may not be able to know that unless you go in, cancel your free membership, and resubscribe as a paid member. So if you were paid and you want to access those benefits again, that's what you'll have to do. But if you're new, then I would love to have you join. For as little as $1, you get to unlock bonus episodes and all of this extra stuff. Check it out. And then check in to the Christian lifestyle of North Carolina, where we have Lauren here getting ready for something big, but we don't know what, but we can guess.
Okay, Lauren, you've got this. Right?
So I don't know what Lauren's got, but this is sort of how my reflection lets me know when I have a new STD symptom. But it's usually without all that self-doubt. I mean, we're both sitting there looking at the same discharge, so. Also, I'm careful to never look my reflection doctor in the eye for too long, because then my brain starts to recognize that my whole existence is just a mass of human tissue and bone, and I have an existential crisis on top of a fresh case of chlamydia. So it's like, ugh, no, Mondays are hard enough. Jeez Louise. By the way, despite, as we'll find out, being married into the devoutly Jesus-obsessed Anderson family of the first movie, Lauren seems ever so slightly more relaxed when it comes to her religious beliefs. Do you think the crazy Christian soybean dad from Princess Cut 1 would ever consult with a mirror being to regain his self-confidence? No. There could be a Bloody Mary living in there. That's what prayer is for. And Jesus Christ Almighty is just sitting in heaven waiting to solve all of your problems by not doing anything. And if you talk to your mirror, you're what? Putting him out of a job? What, do you want Jesus to just be walking around barefoot with long hair and dirty feet? Good, because that's sort of always been a part of his look. But now he's going to be unemployed and destitute, all thanks to you. You see, mirrors are evil, and you should never gaze upon one for longer than it takes a gentleman to straighten out his tie, or a woman to conceal her shameful, hideous breasts. Anything more than one quick, frumpy glance into a mirror, and you're basically staring into the face of evil, looking in Bloody Mary's window and watching her shave her legs. You're a pervert. So it's just a quick look into the mirror like this.
The Dark Lord demands another sacrifice, you ugly gay rat.
See how healthy that was? That's how you have a good relationship with the man in the mirror, whose name is Beelzebub, the Defiler, I want to say. Lauren goes for a run because, like all main characters in movies, she loves to go for runs. But there's some mysterious cramp in her side that prevents her from going all out and racing down those soybean fields of North Carolina, which ironically is where they shot the first movie and where it takes place. However, the shooting location was destroyed by a tornado and they had to move everything to Roanoke, Virginia. It's ironic because there's a tornado in this movie and somebody dies, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Anyway, Lauren runs up to her now husband, Robert, the eldest brother in the Anderson family, who didn't exist in the first movie, but you know. She's like, oh, my husband would hate to see me talking to this man who's raking leaves. And he's like, and I'm not your husband who f***s you in the and she's like, and they're just barely having that wholesome conversation when a car pulls up and they have a medical emergency that the whole family needs to attend to.
He's hurt. I got you, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
It's okay. It's okay.
Great work, Lauren and Robert. If saying, let's go, a million times was the same as amputating an old man's leg, then old man tractor accident over here wouldn't even need to see the small town pediatrician / emergency surgeon, who again, we met in the last movie during his no kissing courtship with Grace, who eventually proposed to her after she realized she needed to be satisfied with her love of Jesus before Jesus would bless her with a husband. For the Lord said, thou shalt ride no dick before thou backst thine ass up onto my kingdom of heaven. Psalm 34:35 from the book of Spring Fashion and the Goblet of Fire. To me, it's distracting how the two elderly people in the scene look so much more like minor market actors than a North Carolina farming couple. I don't know why all of these sappy movies have characters written in to be frail grandparents, but then they cast the most energetic, yoga-bodied 60-year-olds who come into audition. As long as they have a full head of white hair, it's like you got the part. I don't feel scared for these people. They seem to be having a great time during this scene. Like, they almost can't stop smiling. The old farmer is really just someone's uncle with his glasses taken off, and little old Grandma Ethel is wearing black nail polish because she has a performance of the vagina monologues after this shoot. But don't worry, she is still giving the film role 110% of her energy because she knows that screen acting is her ticket to Hollywood, Florida, which is where her grandson lives. And this gig is going to pay for her ticket to fly out there during Christmas. And boy, did she earn it.
Back here, come on.
Come on, Marty. Hang on, bud. I got you, Marty.
We're going in here.
All right, we're almost there.
He's gonna be okay. They're taking care of him, okay?
I get that she's probably scared from witnessing the farm accident, but how many vital organs does this woman think that her husband has in his leg? I'm pretty sure he's gonna be fine, and I'm not sure the scene called for her Meryl Streep levels of hysteria. She said, so a machine cut his leg up and ripped his jeans. I'm gonna channel Shelley Duvall from The Shining. Like, I'm gonna mentally unravel in this role as a featured extra. Like, ma'am, your husband actually offered to drive himself here. At worst, he has a broken femur, and she's like, oh God, you bastard, you gotta leave him here with me. I'm not done with him yet. Oh, John, wake up. We haven't made it to Paris yet. He always promised we'd dance on La Jardin des Tuileries. Oh, and there's Grace, our main character from the previous movie, who apparently doesn't know what emergency workers would do with their hands when responding to a medical emergency. She sprang into action, ready to save lives, being like, come here, come here, come here. Everyone's like, let's go, let's go. Come here, come here. Like, if only these words were stitches and blood transfusions. She said, over here at the surgery kiosk. Okay, we've officially established that his leg is hurt. Now, let's get a shot showing the most horrifying angle of this old man and his gray teeth.
All right, give me your hand. Marty, look at me. We're gonna take this to the Lord, okay? What?
Nothing, you just sound like Dad there.
I pray for my friend Marty.
And he's out. He's fine, everything's fine. The shock just caught up to him.
I struggle to see how everything is fine if your patient just fell unconscious from shock. So can someone maybe unwrap an emergency blanket for Denture Dan over here before his heart valves start to die? I don't know. Anyway, that line was really exposition to explain that Robert is the brother, because again, he didn't exist before today. Grace seems kind of inept when it comes to saving lives, even lives that aren't in danger. But what should we expect? The last time we saw Grace, she was just a simple, innocent, grown woman farm girl. You know, just your typical average 30-year-old undergrad student who had never kissed anyone romantically and was willing to let her saggy-necked dad dictate her whole dating philosophy, like you do. I feel like in the first movie, I'm pretty sure she was studying to become an interior designer, but it turned out her real passion in life was giving that dream up in order to become a wife and mother. And also, I guess, a terrible nurse, somehow. Like, she kind of feels more to me like a vet tech that shouldn't be allowed to work on humans, but okay, Grace, let's see what you got. And they save him. Later on, Clint, the husband, is in the office and he's like, sorry, I'm the town's only doctor, so I was at the hospital. It's like, he should have been at the hospital. Why would you take him to the free clinic for an emergency leg operation? But whatever, he's fine. And Grace is talking to her brother, the doctor. Wait, no, her husband. That's the thing. Everyone here is either a husband or a brother of the person that's on camera, and it's like, you're all just each other, aren't you? I can tell by the North Carolina accent. I'm just kidding, North Carolina people. I know that some of you exist and you're not incestual. Let me move on. Anyway, Grace is like, we need more funding, and Clint is like, sorry, babe, government is like, we're not giving you any more funding, so it's gonna be a really tough year. And she's like, but we're already working for free, and we have to use our own money to buy the gauze and the rubbing alcohol. And I'm just like, so then why do you need rubbing alcohol? Just go in with your dirty f***ing hands. Your dirty soybean hands, you farm podunk bitch. But they don't listen to me. And Grace is like talking to her husband. She's like, I'm gonna talk to, what's his name, Governor McSenator, and he's gonna give us that funding. So she goes out and meets Grace. They're gonna have a girls' night. Oh, because I almost forgot. Lauren and Grace, I'm gonna mix up this whole movie. But Lauren, while this is all going on, she's like vomiting in the bathroom, and they're all like, good luck with that. And then she comes out and Grace is like, wait, you're throwing up? Pregnancy! And they all hug, and that's how we realize that Lauren is pregnant with her and Robert's expected child, which if you're a Christian in this community, literally the same as dying and going to heaven. Like, you might as well and kill yourself after that baby is born, because it's heaven time, baby. You did your one job as a woman by procreating, and hopefully that boy is a boy and not one of those they thems, because then you're really not up as a parent. Oh God. I have this bad habit of starting to shoot videos when they're outside having a lawnmower party or a leaf blower war. What about you? Do you have any bad habits, such as misdemeanor theft, spaghetti in your pants habit? You put spaghetti in your pants for a little dance? Is that your habit? Well, it doesn't matter to me, because I am am all about releasing bad habits, and I don't judge people who have bad habits, okay? Because I've been there myself. And now there are all sorts of new technologies that can lend themselves to creating new bad habits. Phones, screens, blue light. I don't know how kids these days avoid temptation. I would not have stood a chance. Luckily, when it comes to releasing bad habits, I do stand a chance, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Fume. Fume, you've seen on this channel a few times this last couple of months. Now I'm using my matte black one. This is a flavored air device, but it's also like a fidget spinner, so it's like a bad habit destroyer. You might be thinking, who uses flavored air? Well, flavored air is quickly becoming a new category that people are using as an alternative to vaping or even just as an oral fixation relief. And Fume happens to be the #1 flavored air device in the market. I'm obsessed with Fume. They have these cores that's a non-toxic, lightly flavored like filter that allows me to draw this flavored air into my mouth, and it's so satisfying. I can adjust the airflow through the Fume itself. I've got 2 Fumes now. I leave one in all of my favorite rooms, the couch and in here. And it fills the void that can be left when you're ditching a bad habit, and making it easier for you to stay with your goals. I love how weighted these feel, and you never have to charge it. The last few weeks I've been doing the sparkling grapefruit and the raspberry lemonade, so good, but now I'm gonna try something a little outside the box for me with this maple pepper. It's so easy to replace the cores. See, look how cute that is. Oh, okay, well, that one was done anyway. Let's try one of these maple peppers. Ooh, I was not sure if it's going great over here. Wow. Ooh, new favorite, unlocked. This maple pepper is really nice. The whole process of using Fume has been rewarding for me. Not only am I leaving bad habits in the dust, but I get to start that whole journey with a really nice present to myself. The unboxing experience, very special. You know, this feels really nice. It looks great on my desk. So it's kind of like a little gift I'm giving myself for taking these positive steps. Now I see why Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, use my code DiRamio to get your free topper. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and use code DiRamio or scan the QR code that you see on the screen to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack. Thank you so much, Fume. Loving this taste. So anyway, Grace takes Lauren out and they're like, we're gonna have a girls' night, but first, boring. And she goes and talks to some government person and she's like, you're taking away our funding, but we need it. And he's like, all right, fine. Give me a written paper, a 2-chapter book report about why I should argue that you should be alive, and then I might save your hospital free clinic. It's dumb. I know it's dumb. It sounds dumb when I say it because I'm saying it dumb, but it's even worse when you watch it because it's like you have to sit there for 20 minutes. Anyway, Lauren is like, I didn't know you could be so persuasive. Like, women have usefulness, sometimes. And she's like, I didn't even know I was gonna say that. Anyway, we're supposed to believe Grace is this magical person who can persuade people and just keeps the best of company. That night, she's unexpectedly invited to dinner at her friend Tessa's house, a lifelong friend that we've never met before, despite the last movie taking place during her life. And Tessa's like, do you love my new apartment? It's my boyfriend's, who I'm moving in with. And she's like, I know you probably don't approve of that. And Grace is like, of course I do. Just because you're not Christian and you're doing something horrible that I don't believe in doesn't mean I don't also love you with a tinge of judgment. And Tessa is like, you can tell she's not a Christian because she has a short haircut, a short lesbian haircut. And so she asks Lauren, she's like, what do you do, Lauren? Lauren, by the way, I guess runs a store for running supplies because we saw at the beginning she likes to run. So that's her whole personality before motherhood.
I own a little fitness wear boutique in town. Runabout?
No way, I was just there.
Yeah?
Yeah, cute place, but I probably wouldn't go back. Your employees are super rude.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I was like, you've got to back off. Plus your prices.
Tess, it's not Lauren's fault that you're too poor to shop at her store and that the employees think you look like someone who would shoplift for drug money. Like in all Christian movies, Tessa seems to represent the more agnostic friend that does depraved things like move in with her boyfriend before getting married. But the Anderson family tolerates her existence because at the end of the day, she's still one of God's children, which is code for a Republican who is pro-life. That's why Grace is very accepting of Tessa, but she is still a little apologetic for her abrupt kind of criticism there. She's like, Tessa, stop. My friend can be a little outspoken because she doesn't know God. And Tessa's like, it's true. That's why all of my ex-boyfriends have tried to strangle me. Woo! I've had sex for pleasure. Come on, I want to go to the club. We can take illegal drugs like birth control and get f***ed up like a first trimester fetus under the Obama administration. But Lauren is a very gracious person, so she's like, yay, I love that you hate my store. Thank you for saying that for no reason. And literally, it barely comes into play. Eventually, Tessa like helps her with the store, but it's like that's such an afterthought and the mess of a script that you won't even remember it unless you're making a YouTube video about it later, which I don't recommend. It's taking me all day. Grace drives Lauren home, and Lauren seems a little reserved and quiet. And Grace is like, what the is your problem? Like, why aren't you not loving life? Since you love God so much, you should love life. And she's like, it's true, I just have complicated feelings about pregnancy, and that's like a sin.
You know, it's all we wanted for 4 years. But now that it's here, it's like I'm walking up to the edge of a cliff. No, I'm jumping over the edge of a cliff.
Oh my God, yeah. And you're like using your unborn baby as a parachute, and you're like attached to it by the umbilical cord, gliding into the sunset, and you both look at the camera and you're like, yeah. Whew. Sorry, I ran a little bit too far with that funny visual, but as you were saying, pregnancy makes you want to kill yourself. Grace basically tells Lauren like what I did when I didn't know if I wanted to have a baby, because I didn't, but everyone told me I did. I started writing letters to my unborn baby, and that made it real. And so Lauren is like, great, Grace, I might actually take you up on this instead of seeing an actual professional therapist. Thank you so much. I hope you're always here forever and nothing ever kills you out of the blue. Dun dun dun! So they go inside. Someone named Robert has spilled the beans that Lauren is pregnant. So the whole family's like, yay baby, eat that baby alive. And the mom, I forget what the mom's name is, Beth, Catherine, whatever. She's a carryover from the first movie, but weirdly, where's the dad? Anyway, she's like, if you have a boy, I would like you to name him after my dead husband, Jim Bob. And she's like, Robert, why did you tell everyone I'm having a baby like without me? And he's like, sorry. I just thought you wouldn't care because I don't think of you as a person. But in the kitchen, the youngest brother, the one who sold Grace away on the newspaper ad in the first movie, he's like 19 or 18 now. And he drops the bomb on Lauren and Robert that he's actually not coming home to help with the farm during the summer. He's switching from being an agricultural farming student to being an English literature major because he's chasing after some girl he likes. But the family was counting on that little to come home and help during the summer in order to make money during the growing season, and this puts them at an even worse position when the business seems to already be failing. As we learn from their Mexican neighbor later, everyone's exporting their soybeans to Argentina, and it's like, damn it, we were gonna grow our white people soybeans here. Lauren is not ready to admit to the whole family that she's doubtful about the farm, except for Grace. Grace is making this plaque for Tessa, who just moved in with her boyfriend, and they're like, this can be their plaque of unmarried living togetherness. And Lauren is like, wow, you're so desperate for her to like you. It's kind of sad. But anyway, about this farm, I don't want my husband to be working on this farm alone all summer, because like, what the f? She also has talked about like wanting to eventually expand her store into Charlotte, and she knows that this is not gonna happen as long as they're struggling to make ends meet on the farm. And she's like, does this ever get any easier? And Grace is like, no, your life sucks forever as a wife in this family. Congrats.
Robert, he has all these plans. I can't see him letting any of this go. I can't let the farm take him like it took your dad.
I don't think Mom would appreciate that thought.
Well, luckily, my thoughts don't exist for the sheer benefit of your mother, because I have a lot of thoughts that she probably wouldn't appreciate. For example, she is what I think the Wicked Witch of the East would have looked like before being crushed by a house. And her hair looks so dry, sometimes I'm amazed that it doesn't catch fire when she's using a blow dryer. See, baby, I got lots of unpleasant thoughts about this family, and I'm gonna start listing them if you don't start being a girl's girl. You don't believe me? Fine. I also think that you're all in denial about how your little brother is giving off gay vibes, and I hope he's staying in school this summer vacation so that he can drink margaritas and get in the ass the first time. Yeah, mama. That's how it is. I'm more thoughtful than you can even handle, sis. Your mom's head would explode if I told her what goes on in here. What goes on in here. The little brother who tried to sell his sister into sex slavery in movie 1 is, like I said, almost 20 in this movie, it would seem, and only in 1 or 2 scenes of the sequel. It seems like he was more or less replaced by Robert, their older brother, who was conveniently never spoken about during the events of the first movie. I guess he was just like off in a soybean field somewhere and staying out of the on-screen action. But the dad also died off screen, and we're never given a reason for this, along with her like pain in the side that she always has. I guess that's just like a symbol of her infertility as a woman. But the dad, they allude to like having died because there was too much stress trying to keep the farm afloat. And they're like, well, if he couldn't do it without dying, we'll have to try to die doing it. And Lauren is like, I want to live. And they're like, that's literally not even your choice. Okay, shut the up. You sound so stupid right now. Miguel, the Hispanic farmer, is talking to them about, oh, you guys should diversify into like this hydroponic year-long growing season that we're doing. The family's like, oh, great. Our little son who's coming home for college this summer will help figure that all out because he's studying it in college. And that kid is like, oh, they don't know that I'm not coming back yet, but okay, bye. And Lauren is continuing to be frustrated by like, what? So like your mom's making us put up the money to pay off the mortgage until this is all profitable somehow, and you're gonna drop, meaning Robert. Robert's in school too. I don't know why everyone in this universe is in college at all times. If you're not literally 60, you're a student of life and you're in college, and welcome to freshman year, baby. Happy 35th birthday. Because he's gonna drop out of school for this semester to help work on a manure farm. And Lauren is like, all right, I'm up to my neck in emotionally with this family. I don't want to be smelling it on my husband either. Let's have a talk. But she doesn't have the guts to tell the mom, whose name is Catherine. Lauren is too ashamed to tell Catherine, like, your son is not coming home for the summer, and that's why I'm worried about money. And Catherine is like, God will take care of us always, so you shut up. We don't ask the women what they think. And Lauren is like, oh, you dumb bitch. But she keeps her mouth shut because it's not her place to tell them that the little boy Drew is gay and he's staying in school to be gay. Oh, with a penis. Gay with someone else's penis, even. Multiple parties. That boy's getting fucked in the ass at Northern University, and we all have to think about it now because I brought it to your attention. Anyway, are you ready for some death and destruction? Because people are working out in the field. Lauren is working in the barn. Grace, who has a daughter, by the way, Grace and Clint, the doctor, they have like a 4 or 5 year old daughter who's like in the house with Grace, and they're like, play in here, your mom will be in the office, don't go anywhere that your mom can't see you. And Clint, who's in the barn, he like gets a storm warning on his phone that he's like, oh God, there's a tornado coming, I gotta call my wife who's in the house with my daughter. Everyone else is outside of the house for one reason or another.
We have a major problem.
Hey, there was a tornado sighted in the area. You need to get Paige and get out now.
Okay, Paige!
Oh my God, did he say tornado sightage?
There was a tornado sighted.
Okay, Dr. Clint, or should I say Dr. Seuss? Because making up words is not going to save your wife and daughter from that building collapse. Get it together, sir. Tornado sightage. Clint runs toward the house where the little girl, whoever her name is, runs out of the house. She's not trapped under rubble like the mom is. And she tells her dad, she's like, Mom's in the house. And he's like, go to the cellar with everyone else. And so she does. And there's like this kind of tense scene where Clint is running to the house, trying to get to Grace before the tornado does. He has kind of mixed results in that endeavor.
Lord, please protect my family.
Uh-oh, things are looking really bad. And I'm not just talking about that CGI tornado. Although, how funny, I was just saying how Grace's mom looked like a character who later died from a house that fell on top of her because of a twister. Not me coming through with the accidental foreshadowing. You can't tell me this YouTube channel doesn't have layers. The Lord works in mysterious ways that benefit me, and that's when I noticed them. That house is getting ripped apart by a tornado, so Clint runs and grabs the little girl who's like experiencing the traumatic moment of her life when they run downstairs to the cellar, and they're all like, okay, I hope that we live, but the house gets torn apart. This is the house of Catherine, the mom, and all that's left in the morning is some trees and a blank empty field where the house used to be. But let's go back to Grace when the house was getting destroyed. It's important that I just let you know, Grace does survive the storm for another 3 to 5 seconds, and then cut to her being dragged out of the rubble in a body bag. I really tried to soften that news as much as possible, but I just can't conjure up empathy for this bland-ass family like I want to. I mean, this tornado is objectively the most interesting thing that will ever happen to them. Like, your grandson's christening. Tell me the story one more time about how your sister was killed by the wind. Was it scary? Did you cry? You gotta know what's important in life. Obviously, the family is despondent. Clint is sitting at the funeral with his hair combed back, which shows that he's not in a casual mode. Tess shows up to the family funeral and like consoles Catherine because she's a longtime family friend of Grace. She was Grace's best friend, so naturally they grieve together. And Catherine goes to live at Lauren's house. Like, she's a widowing mom, grieving mom. And Lauren's like, yeah, but you're kind of taking up a lot of space with this box of your dead daughter's shit. Can I move this? And Lauren's like, no, don't worry about that. I'm gonna just let you do whatever you want. I don't have a personality.
Can I get you anything?
Do you have a time machine that can unsuck my daughter from into the sky? Or do you have any magical bring my family back to life pills? Or a pet cemetery that will bring my daughter back from the dead as a soulless zombie? Oh, you don't? Just chamomile tea? Okay, yeah, thanks so much, Lauren. I'm good. Catherine takes to like combing through the rubble of her dead daughter's house, and she finds that plaque that Grace was making for Tessa, and she doesn't know it's for Tessa, so she just like takes it home, refurbishes it along with like the baby mattress and all this other that's kind of depressing to have in your house when your daughter dies. But let's get back to Tessa. She's taking a pregnancy test, and her stupid boyfriend, whose apartment she's living in, doesn't take the news great that, you know, it's positive.
I'm pregnant.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No.
What a way to respond. Tessa's like, at least on the bright side, we know now that you're not impotent, just really, really flaccid and bad at sex. Yay, that's great news for you. Tessa pulls the just kidding. She's like, I was just trying to see how you'd react, and you apparently would throw up in your fucking pants. Even though it was revealed to us, this is the truth. We know she's pregnant, which kind of feels like they're just padding out the runtime since she tells her boyfriend, Devin, the truth just one scene later. This is a nearly 2-hour movie. They could have at least used her deception, saying she was kidding, to build in some dramatic irony into the story where like Tessa is trying to keep her pregnancy secret from him while the Anderson family knows, and it just drives a wedge between them, and we watch her painful separation as he abandons her. But okay, or it's just a quick thing that happens and then goes away. Why not? Because after Lauren goes to the mom and she's like, this thing that you treasure that your daughter made, this plaque, it's actually for someone else. I'm gonna bring it to Tessa. And the mom is like, okay. Which, like, great work, Lauren. You're really helping out here. Meanwhile, Tessa tells her husband, boyfriend, that she's pregnant, and the boyfriend is like, I'm gonna react with violence because that's what everyone wants in a partner.
You have a choice here.
No.
Yes, you do. You have a choice.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do!
No, she literally doesn't. At least not at the federal level. Although this movie was made before Roe v. Wade got overturned and civil rights in this country were set back several decades. That's why in 2024's context, him yelling at her is basically how right-wing senators try to convince the women that vote for them that they have all the bodily autonomy they could ever need. They're like, you do too have a choice. You can A, keep the baby and love it, B, keep the baby and hate it, or C, keep the baby and die during childbirth. The choice from those 3 terrible options is yours, as long as they limit your ability to move forward in the workforce. This is America, land of the free, and this government supports your freedom to have a baby on our terms or to die trying. What do you mean it's a binary logic? You're trying to give that baby pronouns? Red alert, we've got a they-them sympathizer. Guards, take her to the pregnant lady prison camp. This is only a mild exaggeration of what happens if you vote for f***ing Trump. Right on cue, Lauren shows up at the door with her huge ass plaque and she's like, your dead friend wanted you to have this, a brand new piece of wood. And Tessa's like, F you, bitch, I don't want to talk about it. But of course she sees the positive pregnancy test on the coffee table. Why are you all leaving these around? They're covered in pee, but okay. And Lauren goes and touches her stomach and they hug and it's like, so finally someone doesn't hate my fetus. I do. Don't forget, I do. Meanwhile, Lauren still has this hidden pain in her side, which for some reason is not just an abdominal cramp, it's a sign of something worse. And Robert's outside talking to the bank and they're like, we're not selling our soybeans for much. We're like, we had to make a big deal. We're for basically the rest of the year. And Lauren recently had a conversation with her accountant who's like, our sales at the running equipment store that we haven't talked about for this whole movie are better than expected. We should expand to Charlotte. And Lauren tells Robert that. She's like, I think we need to expand to Charlotte. Like, we need to move forward with this because we need something more promising than your failing soybean farm that is killing your whole family with heart attacks. And he's like, are you sure? And she's like, yes. So he agrees. They're gonna move forward with the Charlotte expansion. And actually, Grace's best friend, Tessa, the names in this are so white bread. Tessa comes into the store to help Lauren redesign the new place. She's like, will you design the new store? Because you seem to know everything about interior design somehow. And she's like, yes, 1,000 times yes. Your dead sister-in-law. And so Lauren goes to get the Christmas decorations, but has that mysterious side pain and falls on her ass, which is bad for the baby.
Lauren!
Something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, because you fell backwards onto your spine, stupid. It doesn't look right either. Looks like someone doesn't know how to use a ladder right, you know? Oh, she's actually convulsing. Hold on, Lauren. I'm gonna call one of those loud white vans that keep carrying your family members' corpses away. I've never done this before. I guess I'll just check out some Yelp reviews. Damn it, they're making me download the app to even see the rating? I don't know anymore, I give up. At the hospital, which is governed by Clint, the non-hospital working doctor, they're like, don't worry, she's fine. She just had a spike in blood pressure. There's no way to predict that anything is wrong with the baby, even though we should probably be able to see this now. But it doesn't matter. The husband is like, I'm so sorry that I've been working to keep my mom from dying of stress like my dad did. Let's have fun. This beat is sick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick. So they go into this montage where things start to turn up and up. Things are turning up in the Anderson family, which means the mom, Catherine, is setting up a crib. And Tessa is kind of getting her husband, boyfriend excited about the baby. Lauren is even baking cookies with that little girl whose mom died. We love the mom's dead, but we're making cookies montage. But then Clint and the daughter go to the grandparents' house in Florida or some. They're like, we're gonna spend Christmas with my mom and dad because they're gonna take care of us, and my wife's dead, so I'll do whatever I want. And also, this little girl has used up all of her amnesty hours for the union that she's a member of. So bye little one and husband. Meanwhile, Lauren is like, your mom is driving me crazy in this house. She's moving around all my ingredients, which is so f***ing sexist for a woman to do to another woman. She literally says basically that. And so the mom is like, so I have another unexpected expense. Can you pay my mortgage forever? And Robert is like, yes, mom, we will kill ourselves trying to make sure you get to live in this farm that is empty. And Lauren is like, why don't we just get her a little apartment of her own? Or she can live in that reconstructed house that her daughter died in, and like, we can all be better off if we sell the farm. Like, we'll get money for it. And he's like, how dare you say something so practical? How dare you? So Lauren breaks the news to Tessa. She's like, I'm not expanding to Charlotte because my mom-in-law is a bitch. But she gets the idea to go check with the bank about how much they could stand to make if they did sell the farm, and the banker is like, millions. And she's like, all right, well, I'll never be allowed to do it, so whatever. Which is why it sucks when the banker shows up, who's also hot, and I'm like, love triangle? Threesome? No, he's just there to spill the beans that she was looking to sell the farm, and Catherine is like, how dare you try to sell this farm that you inherited, and I like having better even though it's empty and losing money. And so she storms off, but that's when Lauren is like, oh, you think you're the main character? Ow, my baby! And she falls to the ground and unfortunately loses the baby. I know. It's like, god damn it, does this movie have a happy point ever? Not really. Because when Lauren wakes up after that news, she goes out into the living room and she's like, I want your mother out of this f***ing house! Oh, my baby's dead! And everyone's like, okay, we really think you maybe the mom should move out right now? Because Lauren's having a wee bit of a religious crisis and a mental breakdown.
I wasn't strong enough, Robert. I want my baby back.
God, this is such an intense scene and serious subject matter, and I'm trying so hard to be respectful right now, so... Oh, Nick, don't make the obvious reference. Must resist. Okay, f*** it, she's a fictional character.
I want my baby back.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, chili, baby back real. I want my baby chili, baby back real.
I'm sorry, but when it comes to mothering a child, I will always side with the commercial jingle. And that's as much respect as I can give this planet during my earthly time. Anyway, Catherine forgives Lauren. She's like, you lost a child and I lost a child. So for that reason, I think that we are both the same. And Lauren's like, so does that mean we can sell this farm for millions of dollars? And she's like, no, you will struggle in the name of the Lord. And she goes out to eventually talk to Tessa, who went missing for a few days because Tessa, side note, has been cheated on by her boyfriend. The boyfriend ditched her. Tessa eventually comes back. She's like, I didn't know you had a miscarriage. Like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay, you didn't know, but at least we're here drinking cocoa. And then it's Christmas. The mom, Catherine, goes back to the dead daughter's house. We love to see it. And then for Christmas, they give Tessa the room that her mom was staying in. And they're like, you can live with us until you get a husband or whatever. And she's like, really? And they're like, yeah, I guess it's fine. We don't love it, but it's fine. And then she's out on the field, Lauren, and she talks to Robert. She's like, I can't believe you packed up all your textbooks. You're not going back to college? And he's like, I don't need college because as long as we believe in the Lord and I have you, we're blessed. And she's like, okay, our income though. And he's like, I know, it's so good. Let's weed some dead soybean plants together and starve. And she writes in her journal and she's like, and that's enough for me. Thanks, Christianity. So essentially this movie is all about like being happy even though life is not happy. Because at the end of the line, like you'll get to go and meet your dead baby in heaven. That's the takeaway.
The hole you left is sometimes too much to bear. And yet, I am grateful for it.
She totally plagiarized the letter I wrote to that Spanish moth that I had to have extracted after it burrowed into my abdomen. You see, I still have this bloody cavity that won't heal and hurts when it's raining, but it's great for my dating life because now there's a brand new hole that men can have sex with. I mean, they've all run away screaming whenever I've shown it to them, but it's still nice to be able to offer it as an option. I'm very accommodating in bed, especially if you're into scabby wounds. Aw, scabby wounds. I'm gonna put that on my list list of potential baby names. Oh, I think of the moth that they extracted from me as my biological child. But as I was saying, I'm still single, and I've got an open wound for you to explore, so line up, gentlemen. I got my baby back, fist me in my stomach hole. Barbecue sauce. And that's all they wrote for Princess Cut 2, Hearts on Fire, with its distinct absence of fire, which is my biggest regret for watching this. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Also give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more Christian movies broken down. Shall we finish off the Princess Cut trilogy? Princess Cut 3, The Unfinished Circumcision, or whatever. Let me know in the comments. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. Make sure you turn on notifications. That way you'll never be out of the loop when God comes down from heaven on earth and strikes one of your friends dead. You'll be the first to know whenever I'm hitting the street and letting my unfaithful boyfriend know that I've got a hole for him to f. I've got merch and a Patreon where you can access exclusives and bonus watch parties and all of this. Many of you were unsubscribed unknowingly, so check that out if you feel like it. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for devoutly worshiping a horrible, horrendous God with me today. I will see you next time.